Alex Mason stared at the blinking red warning lights on his control panel. His ship, the Stardust, drifted silently through the empty blackness of the Cygnus sector. The quantum drive had failed 6 hours ago, and nothing he tried would bring it back online. System diagnostic complete. Quantum field generator. Critical failure. Estimated repair with current resources. Impossible. The ship's computer voice sounded almost apologetic. Alex ran his hands through his short brown hair and took a deep breath. He was 4 light years from the nearest human outpost. His oxygen would last 2 weeks at most. The distress signal he sent would take at least a month to reach anyone who could help. So this is how it ends, he muttered to himself, his voice echoing in the empty cockpit. The Stardust wasn't a large vessel, just a small cargo hauler that Alex had saved for years. To buy. Independence and adventure, that's what the recruiter had promised when Alex signed up for the deep space cargo program. No one mentioned dying alone in the void. He checked the emergency systems again. Maybe he could stretch the oxygen to 3 weeks if he sealed off parts of the ship and stayed in the cockpit and sleeping quarters. It wouldn't matter. No one was coming to save him, Doc. Alex got up from the pilot's chair and moved to the small galley. If these were his last days, he might as well enjoy the coffee while it lasted. The bitter liquid warmed his hands through the metal cup. He had made this run a dozen times before. Medical supplies to Proxima B, rare minerals back to Earth. Good pay, minimal risk. At least that's what they said. He was halfway through his coffee when the proximity alert blared. Alex nearly dropped his cup as he rushed back to the cockpit. The scanner showed an approaching vessel, but nothing like he had ever seen. The ship's computer couldn't identify the design. Unknown vessel approaching. Configuration not in database. Hope and fear mixed in Alex's chest. This far from human space, an unknown ship could mean anything. First contact with a new species? Space pirates? Some strange automated vessel? He opened the communication channel. This is cargo vessel Stardust. I am experiencing a critical system failure. Please identify yourself. For several long moments, there was only static. Then a voice came through, clear, but with an odd musical quality that made the hairs on his arms stand up. Human vessel in distress. I can help you. The voice didn't sound mechanical, but it wasn't quite human either. Alex swallowed hard. Who? Are you? Are you a rescue ship? I am not a rescue ship. I am a researcher. My designation would be difficult for you to pronounce. You may call me Nylara. Alex watched as the alien vessel moved closer. It was smaller than he expected, perhaps only twice the size of a shuttlecraft. Its hull shimmered with an iridescent quality that seemed to shift colors as it moved. Your quantum drive has failed, the voice continued. I can detect the energy signature disruption from here. How do you know about our quantum drive technology? Alex asked, suspicion creeping into his voice. Your species is not as isolated as you believe. We have been observing for some time. Chill ran down Alex's spine. We? Who are we? That is a longer conversation. Right now, you need assistance. I am offering to help repair your vessel. Alex weighed his options. If this was a trap, he was already dead anyway. If the offer was genuine, it was his only chance. I accept your help, he said finally. Can you dock with my ship? Yes, please. Open your port airlock. Pressures will need to be adjusted for compatibility. Alex moved through the narrow corridors of his ship to the airlock controls. His heart pounded in his chest. In all his years of space travel, he had never imagined being the first human to meet a new alien species. There had been official first. Contacts before, of course, the Arcturians and the Vega Collective were now regular trading partners with Earth. But this felt different, unofficial, personal. The airlock cycled with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Alex stood back, hand resting near the emergency lockdown button. The inner door slid open slowly. The being that stepped through was nothing like Alex had imagined. Nylara stood just under 6 feet tall, with a slender build that seemed almost human at first glance. But her skin was a deep blue that shimmered with tiny points of light, like stars seen through an atmosphere. Most striking were her eyes, 4 of them arranged in a diamond pattern on her face, all a brilliant silver color that seemed to glow from within. She wore what appeared to be a single-piece suit of a material Alex couldn't identify, with tools of some kind attached at her waist. "You are Alex Mason," she said, her mouth moving in ways that didn't quite match the words Alex heard. Some kind of translation technology, he realized. "How do you know my name?" he asked, taking an involuntary step back. "Your ship's registration and your distress signal?" Nylara tilted her head slightly. "You are afraid. That is understandable." Alex tried to steady his breathing. "Wouldn't you be? My ship is dead in space, and a being I've never seen before just walked in offering help." Nylara's upper eyes blinked independently of the lower ones, an expression Alex couldn't interpret. "I would be curious more than afraid," she said. "Show me to your engine room. The quantum drive will need significant repairs." Alex led her through the ship, watching as she studied everything with obvious interest. In the engine room, Nylara immediately went to the quantum drive housing and began examining the burnt-out components. "This is beyond your ability to repair with the materials you have," she stated, "but not beyond mine. Why would you help me?" Alex asked the question that had been burning in his mind since her first transmission. Nylara turned all 4 eyes toward him. "My people are researchers. We study other species, their technologies, their cultures. We have strict protocols about direct interaction." She paused. "I am breaking those protocols by helping you." "Why risk it?" Alex pressed. "Because I want something in return," Nylara said simply. "Something personal." Alex felt that chill again. "What exactly do you want from me?" "Nothing physical that you cannot spare," Nylara replied. Her hand moved to a small device at her waist. "I want your memories. Specifically, memories of what your species calls happiness. I want to experience human joy." Alex stared at her, trying to process what she was asking. "My ... Memories? How is that even possible?" "We have technology that can create a temporary psychic link. Through it, I can experience your emotions, your memories, as if they were my own." Nylara's voice took on an intensity that hadn't been there before. "Will you agree to this exchange? Your memories of joy for the repair of your ship?" Alex looked at the dead engine, then back at the alien being standing before him. His life for his memories. It seemed like something from an old myth, not a choice he'd face in deep space. "I need time to think about this," he said finally. "Of course," Nylara nodded, "but not too much time. Your oxygen levels are already dropping." As she turned back to examine the engine more closely, Alex wondered what he had gotten himself into, and more importantly, what choice he would make when the time came. Alex couldn't sleep. He lay in his narrow bunk, staring at the metal ceiling of his quarters. The soft hum of the life support system, once a comforting background noise, now seemed to count down the hours he had left. Outside his door, in the engine room, Nylara continued to examine his ship's damaged systems. He could hear occasional clicks and musical tones that must have been her language. As she spoke into some kind of recording device, his mind kept returning to her offer. His memories for his life. Was it really a choice at all? Without her help, he would die here, alone in the vastness of space. But the idea of sharing his innermost experiences with an alien being felt deeply unsettling. When morning came, or what passed for morning on a ship with artificial lighting, Alex found Nylara still working. She didn't appear to have rested at all. "Do your people need sleep?" he asked, offering her a cup of coffee, which she politely declined. "We require rest cycles, but not as frequently as humans," she explained. "I can go several of your days before needing to rest." Alex watched as she manipulated tools he didn't recognize on parts of his engine he barely understood. Her 4 eyes seemed able to focus on different tasks simultaneously. "I've been thinking about your offer," he said finally. Nylara sat down, her tools and turned to face him. "And I have questions. Will this memory sharing hurt? Will you take the memories from me? Will I lose them?" Her skin rippled with subtle color changes, from deep blue to a lighter azure and back again. Alex was beginning to think this might be how her species showed emotions. "It will not hurt," she assured him. "And you will not lose your memories. Think of it more as copying than taking. I will experience what you experienced, feel what you felt. The process creates a temporary mental connection between us." "How temporary?" Alex asked. "The active link lasts only minutes, but I will retain the experiences, just as you have." Alex sipped his coffee, gathering courage for his next question. "Why do you want human memories of happiness? What's so special about our emotions?" Nylara was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice had a different quality, less clinical, more personal. "My species experiences emotions differently than yours. We feel, but not with the same intensity or variety that humans do. Your joy, especially, is something that fascinates many of our researchers. The way humans can find happiness in so many different circumstances, the depth of your positive emotions." She paused, her upper eyes blinking slowly. "It is valuable." "Data. Just data?" Alex pressed. "You're breaking your people's rules just for research?" The color shifted across her skin again, more rapidly this time. "Not just for research," she admitted. "For me, I want to understand." Something about her answer resonated with Alex. Wasn't that why he'd chosen deep space work in the first place? To see things others hadn't, to understand the universe a little. "Better, if I agree, what exactly would you experience?" he asked. "Your happiest moments, times of greatest joy." "The selection process is partly conscious and partly automatic. Your strongest positive emotional memories will be the most accessible." Alex thought about what those might be. His 8th birthday, when his father had surprised him with his first telescope. Graduating from flight school. Seeing Earth from orbit for the first time. The night he spent with Lisa under the stars during college, talking until dawn. None of these were secrets, exactly. But they were private, personal. The idea of sharing them made him feel vulnerable in a way he wasn't used to. "And you?" he asked suddenly. "Would this connection work both ways? Would I see your memories too?" Nylara seemed surprised by the question. "It is not intended to work that way, but sometimes there is a reflection. Echoes of my experiences might reach you. It varies from case to case." "You've done this before? With other humans?" "No," she said quickly. "With other species. Never humans." Alex finished his coffee, set down the cup, and made his decision. "I'll do it. Fix my ship, and I'll share my memories with you." Nylara's skin brightened noticeably. "Thank you. I will complete the necessary repairs first." For the next 2 days, Alex watched in amazement as Nylara worked on his ship. She used tools and materials from her own vessel, some of which seemed to respond to her touch in ways that appeared almost magical. Parts that Alex knew would take weeks to replace in a proper shipyard were recreated in hours. They talked while she worked. Alex told her about Earth, about human society and history. She told him about her people, a species called the Linari, who had been spacefaring for thousands of years. They were observers primarily, studying other civilizations from a distance. We believe direct intervention can damage a species' natural development, she explained as she reconnected the power couplings to his engine. Yet here you are, intervening, Alex pointed out. Yes, here I am. She didn't elaborate further, but Alex caught a ripple of color across her skin that he was beginning to associate with emotional conflict. On the evening of the second day, Nylara announced that the repairs were nearly complete. The quantum drive would be operational by morning. So, Alex said, feeling suddenly nervous, I guess it's my turn to fulfill my part of the bargain. Nylara nodded and retrieved a small device from her belt. It was circular, about the size of a coin, with a softly glowing center. This will facilitate the connection, she explained. It's perfectly safe. What do I need to do? Alex asked, eyeing the device warily. Just sit comfortably. I'll place this on your temple, and an identical one on mine. Then we both need to relax and allow the connection to form. Alex sat in the pilot's chair while Nylara pulled up the co-pilot's seat. She placed the small device gently against his temple. It adhered softly to his skin, feeling slightly warm, but not unpleasant. She placed a second device on her own temple, in the center of the diamond formed by her 4 eyes. Ready? She asked. Alex took a deep breath and nodded. Ready. Close your eyes, Nylara instructed. Think about happy moments in your life. Don't try to force specific memories. Just let them come naturally. Alex closed his eyes. For a moment, nothing happened. Then he felt a strange sensation, like a gentle tug at the edges of his mind. Warmth spread from the device on his temple, and suddenly memories began to surface. His 8th birthday, the telescope, the stars, his father's proud smile, flight school graduation, the weight of the wings pin on his chest. Pure accomplishment, the first time he saw Earth from orbit. The blue and white marble hanging in blackness. Beauty beyond words. Night with Lisa under the stars. Their conversation. Their connection. The feeling that he was truly understood. As each memory surfaced, Alex felt not just the recollection, but the emotions, the joy, the wonder, the love, with an intensity that was almost overwhelming. And somehow, impossibly, he could sense Nylara experiencing them too. But that wasn't all. As she had warned, there were echoes, fleeting glimpses of memories not his own. A world with 3 moons hanging in a purple sky. The sensation of moving through water with a body not human. The rigorous training of becoming what her people called a xenobiologist. And threading through it all, a profound sense of being different, of questioning traditions that others accepted without thought. When the connection finally faded, Alex opened his eyes to find Nylara staring at him with all 4 of her silver eyes wide. A shimmering pattern of lights played across her blue skin. Are you okay? He asked, his voice hoarse. Yes, she whispered. Your species' capacity for joy is ... remarkable. She removed the device from her temple, then gently took the one from his. Thank you for sharing this with me, Alex Mason. Alex realized with surprise that tears were running down his cheeks. The experience had been more profound than he could have imagined. He had given Nylara his memories of happiness, but somehow he felt that he had received something equally valuable in return. A glimpse into a truly alien mind, and the realization that even across the gulf of different biologies and cultures, connection was possible. Your ship will be fully functional by morning, Nylara said softly. You can continue your journey home. Home. The word suddenly had new meaning for Alex. He wiped his eyes and looked at the alien being sitting across. From him, no longer a stranger, but not quite a friend. Something new, something without a name. Thank you, he said simply. Alex woke to the soft hum of a fully functioning ship. For a moment, he thought he had dreamed the whole thing, The breakdown, the alien visitor, the strange memory exchange. Then he saw the small metal device sitting on his bedside table, the one Nylara had placed on his temple. It was real. He dressed quickly and made his way to the engine room. The quantum drive glowed with a steady blue light, completely repaired. Alex ran a diagnostic check, and the computer confirmed what? His eyes told him the Stardust was ready to fly again. "Good morning, Alex Mason." He turned to find Nylara standing in the doorway. In the bright light of the engine room, her blue skin seemed to shimmer even more intensely than before. Had the memory exchange changed how he saw her? Or was he simply noticing more details now? "You did it," he said, gesturing toward the engine. "It's fixed. Yes, your ship will take you home safely now." Alex ran his hand along the smooth metal housing of the quantum drive. This kind of repair would have taken weeks in a shipyard. "How did you do it so quickly? My people's technology is different from yours," Nylara explained. "We work with materials on a different level." "Thank you," Alex said simply, "for saving my life." Nylara's 4 eyes blinked in that strange pattern he still couldn't interpret. "And thank you for the memories. They were ... She paused, seeming to search for the right word. "Illuminating." Alex felt oddly exposed, knowing she had experienced his most personal moments of joy. Yet after the connection they had shared, he couldn't bring himself to regret it. "I felt some of your memories, too," he said carefully. "Just glimpses. Yes, the connection sometimes works that way." Nylara moved further into the room, her movements fluid and graceful. "What did you see?" "A world with 3 moons. Was that your home?" "Yes, Linara, the 3rd planet in the Vega system." Alex's eyes widened. "Vega? That's only 25 light years from Earth. We've sent probes there." "We know," Nylara said. "We've studied them. Very interesting technology. You've been watching us. All this time, my people watch many developing species. We observe, we learn, we document, but we do not interfere." Her skin darkened slightly. "Usually." Alex thought about what that meant. "So you're breaking your people's rules by helping me?" "Yes." "Will you get in trouble?" Nylara made a gesture Alex couldn't interpret, something between a shrug and a wave, perhaps. "But I believe the knowledge gained was worth the risk." "Just knowledge?" Alex asked, remembering the echoes he had felt during their connection. Her sense of being different, of questioning traditions. Nylara was quiet for a long moment. "Not just knowledge," she admitted finally. "I have always been curious about direct contact. My superiors call it a flaw in my character." Alex smiled at that. "On Earth, we call it being a pioneer." "Pioneer," she repeated, as if testing the word. "I like that term better." They moved to the galley, where Alex prepared breakfast. Nylara watched with interest as he ate, though she declined his offer to try human food. "My biology is quite different from yours," she explained. "What nourishes you might harm me, yet you can breathe our air," Alex observed, "with some adjustments. The device I wear," she touched a small module at her throat that Alex hadn't noticed before, "filters your atmosphere to make it compatible with my needs." As they talked, Alex learned more about the Linari. They were an ancient species, spacefaring for over 10,000 years. They had studied countless civilizations across the galaxy, documenting their rise and sometimes their fall. "You said you had strict rules about non-interference," Alex said. "Why? If you have all this advanced technology, why not share it?" "We learned that lesson the hard way," Nylara replied, her voice solemn. "Long ago, we shared our technology with a young species. We thought we were helping them advance. Instead, we triggered a global war as different factions fought to control what we had given them. Billions died. Their entire civilization collapsed." Alex winced. I'm sorry. It was before my time, but the lesson shapes all our policies now. Each species must develop at its own pace, make its own mistakes, find its own path. Yet here you are, helping me. Yes. Nylara's skin rippled with colors. Here I am. After breakfast, they moved to the cockpit. It was time for Alex to continue his journey home, and for Nylara to return to her own ship. I've programmed the coordinates for the nearest human outpost into your navigation system, Nylara said. You should reach it in about 5 days. And what will you do now? Alex asked. Continue my research. There are other sectors to explore, other species to observe. She hesitated. From a proper distance, of course. Alex wasn't sure what to say. How did you say goodbye to someone who had saved your life and shared your deepest memories? Someone not even of your own species? Will I ever see you again? He asked finally. It would be against protocols, Nylara replied. But then she added, though I seem to have difficulty following protocols where you are concerned. She reached into a pocket in her suit and removed a small device, different from the memory connector. It was round and flat, with a simple button. In the center. Take this, she said, placing it in his hand. If you ever find yourself in real danger again, press the button. It will send a signal directly to me. Alex closed his fingers around the device. Won't that get you in more trouble? Probably, she admitted, her skin flickering with what Alex now recognized as amusement. But as you humans say, in for a penny, in for a pound. Alex laughed. You've been studying our expressions too. They're fascinating, so colorful, so varied. Her 4 eyes studied his face intently. I will miss observing you, Alex Mason. And I'll miss being observed, he replied with a smile. But his heart felt unexpectedly heavy. They said their final goodbyes at the airlock. Nylara placed her hand against the transparent section of the door after it closed between them, a gesture that seemed strangely human. Alex placed his hand against hers, separated by the barrier. Safe travels, Nylara of the Lenari. And to you, Alex Mason of Earth. He watched through the viewport as her sleek ship detached from the stardust and moved away, its hull shimmering with that strange iridescent quality. Soon it was just a bright speck against the blackness. And then it was gone. Alex returned to the cockpit and set course for the coordinates Nylara had given him. As the quantum drive engaged, humming with renewed power, he thought about everything that had happened. He had given Nylara his memories of happiness. In return, she had not only saved his life, but had given him something equally valuable, the knowledge that humanity was not alone in the universe, and that even across vast differences, connection was possible. He placed the small signal device carefully in his pocket. Somehow, he knew this wasn't the end of their story. 3 months had passed since Alex's encounter with Nylara. He had made it safely to the human outpost at Proxima Centauri, where he had filed a carefully edited report about his ship's breakdown and repair. He mentioned nothing about the alien who had saved him. Some truths were better kept to himself. Life had returned to normal. Alex completed 2 more cargo runs, delivered medical supplies to the Mars colonies, and even took a short vacation back on Earth. But he couldn't stop thinking about Nylara and their shared memories. At night, he still dreamed of 3 moons hanging in a purple sky and oceans that glowed with bioluminescent light. The small signal device she had given him never left his pocket. Sometimes, during quiet moments alone in the cockpit, he would take it out and run his fingers over its smooth surface, wondering if he would ever have cause to use it. He was on another routine cargo run, transporting agricultural equipment to one of the newer colonies in the Tau Ceti system, when his ship's sensors detected something unusual. Warning, unknown energy signature detected, the computer announced. No match in database? Alex checked his scanners. About half a light year away, something was emitting a strange pattern of radiation. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. The pulses were too regular, too precise. Curiosity got the better of him. He adjusted his course to investigate Dot as the Stardust approached the source. Alex saw a disabled ship drifting in space. It wasn't human in design. Its hull had that same organic, flowing quality as Nylara's vessel. But this ship was much larger and showed signs of severe damage. Parts of the hull were blackened, as if it had been caught in some kind of energy discharge. A Linari ship, Alex whispered to himself. His communication system crackled with a weak distress signal. The language wasn't one he recognized, a series of musical tones and clicks, similar to what he had heard Nylara use when speaking to her recording device. Without hesitation, Alex opened a channel. This is cargo vessel. Stardust, do you require assistance? For a long moment, there was silence. Then a voice responded in accented but understandable English. Human vessel, this is research ship Celestial Seeker. We have sustained critical damage. Life support failing. It wasn't Nylara's voice. This one was deeper, with a different cadence. How many crew members? Alex asked. 3 remaining. Others? Lost in attack. Attack? Alex felt a chill. What attacked you? Unknown vessels. Hostile. They may return. You should not remain in this sector. Alex considered his options. His small cargo ship couldn't possibly tow a vessel that size to safety. But he couldn't just leave them to die either. I'm going to dock with your ship, he decided. See if I can help with repairs, or at least evacuate survivors. No, the voice responded quickly. Too dangerous. Radiation leakage in docking area. And attackers may return. Alex frowned. Something didn't feel right. He scanned the Linari vessel again, more carefully this time. The damage patterns were strange, concentrated in specific areas rather than spread across the hull, as would be expected from an attack. And there was something else. The energy signature that had first caught his attention. It wasn't coming from the ship itself, but from a smaller object nearby. Computer, analyze the object near the damaged vessel, he instructed. Analysis complete. Object appears to be a beacon or probe. It is emitting a focused energy pattern aimed at sector 227 to 48. Alex checked his star charts. That sector was empty. Space, no planets, no outposts. But it was the direction from which Nylara had first appeared. This was a trap. The damaged ship was trying to lure in Linari vessels for some reason. His hand went to his pocket, touching the signal device. Nylara had given him. This definitely qualified as danger, though not exactly to himself. Would she want to know about this? Could other members of her species be at risk? He made his decision and pressed the button. We are sending a shuttle to assist you, he told. The supposedly damaged ship playing for time. Prepare to receive boarding party. No, the voice insisted. Radiation levels too dangerous for humans. Stay away. I have radiation shielding, Alex lied. Hold position. He maneuvered the Stardust to the far side of the damaged vessel, hoping to stay out of sight of whoever might be monitoring the trap. Then he waited. 20 minutes later, his sensors detected a new ship entering the area. It had the same shimmering hull as Nylara's vessel, but was slightly larger. It dropped out of faster-than-light travel at a safe distance and immediately went into a defensive posture. Alex's communication system activated. Alex Mason. Nylara's familiar voice filled the cockpit. You signaled danger. Are you hurt? I'm fine, he replied, relief washing over him. But I think some of your people might be in trouble. There's a ship here that's broadcasting a distress signal in what I think is your language. But something feels wrong about it. There was a pause before Nylara responded. You were right to call me. That vessel is not Linari. It is a derelict. Ship from another species that has been modified to create a lure. The beacon is designed to mimic our emergency frequencies. A trap? For what purpose? To capture Linari technology. There are certain groups who would pay highly for it. Space. Pirates, Alex said grimly. Of a sort, yes. Please maintain your position. I am scanning for their actual location. Alex watched as Nyla's ship performed a complex series of maneuvers, seemingly random, but clearly following some search pattern. Suddenly, her vessel fired. What looked like a pulse of blue energy toward a region of empty space. The emptiness shimmered and dissolved, revealing another ship that had been hiding under some kind of cloaking technology. It was angular and predatory-looking, with weapons mounted along its hull. Clever, Nyla's voice commented, but not clever enough. The pirate vessel, realizing it had been discovered, powered up its engines and tried to flee. But Nyla's ship moved with incredible speed, cutting off its escape route. A second pulse of blue energy washed over the pirate ship, and suddenly all its systems seemed to go dark. What did you do to them? Alex asked, amazed. Temporary energy dampening. Field, Nyla explained. Their systems will restart in approximately 2 hours. Long enough for them to reconsider their career choices. Alex couldn't help but laugh. That's quite a trick. One of many we prefer not to share, Nyla replied, but he could hear the smile in her voice. Her ship moved alongside the stardust, close enough that Alex could see it clearly through his viewport. It was more elegant than he remembered, its hull shifting with patterns of light that seemed almost like a language. Thank you for the warning, Alex Mason. You may have saved Linari lives today. I'm glad I could help, he said sincerely. It's nice to return the favor after you saved mine. There was a pause before Nyla spoke again. Would you permit me to dock with your vessel? I would like to thank you in person. Alex's heart skipped a beat. I'd like that very much. The docking procedure was smooth and efficient. When the airlock opened, Nyla stepped through, looking exactly as Alex remembered. Her blue skin shimmered with subtle patterns of light, and all 4 of her silver eyes focused on him with that same intense curiosity. Hello, Alex Mason, she said. Hello, Nyla, he replied, suddenly feeling oddly shy. It's good to see you again. And you? She moved closer, studying his face. You look well. So do you. He gestured toward the galley. Would you like some? Coffee? I remember you didn't try it last time. I have since studied human biochemistry more thoroughly, she said, following him. I believe I can safely sample small amounts of your food and drink now. In the galley, Alex prepared 2 cups of coffee. Nyla took hers carefully, sniffed it, and took a small sip. Bitter, she observed, but interesting. Most humans add sugar or cream to make it taste better, Alex explained. No, I prefer to. Experience it as you do, she replied. They sat together at the small table, talking about what had happened since they last met. Alex told her about his cargo runs, his brief visit to Earth. Nyla spoke of her continuing research, though she was careful not to reveal anything that might violate her people's protocols. Were you in trouble? Alex asked finally. For helping me? Nyla's skin darkened slightly. There were questions, investigations, but in the end, they decided the contact was minimal and controlled. I was allowed to continue my work. I'm glad, Alex said. I would have hated to cause problems for you. It was my choice, she reminded him, and one I do not regret. As they talked, Alex realized how much he had missed her company. There was something about Nyla, her perspective, her curiosity, her different way of seeing the universe, that made even simple conversations fascinating. I have something for you, Nyla said suddenly, reaching into a pocket of her suit. She pulled out a small crystal that glowed with a soft inner light. A token of thanks for your warning today. Alex took the crystal carefully. It felt warm in his hand and seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat. What is it? He asked. A memory crystal, Nylara explained. I have stored some of my own memories inside. Places I have seen, worlds I have visited. Things I thought you might enjoy experiencing. Alex looked at the crystal with wonder. Like the memory exchange we shared before? Similar, but less intense. More like watching images with emotional context. If you place it beside you while you sleep, memories will come to you in dreams. A year had passed since Alex had helped Nylara foil the pirate trap. In that time, he had used the memory crystal she gave him almost every night. Through his dreams, he had visited strange worlds with skies and colors he had never imagined, seen. Creatures that defied human classification, and experienced the beauty of distant galaxies through Nylara's eyes. The crystal had changed him. His fellow cargo pilots noticed it first, the way he seemed more thoughtful, the way he would stare out at the stars with a look of recognition rather than wonder. Earth felt smaller to him now, the human perspective more limited. He found himself longing for something more. Alex had taken on longer routes, venturing further into unexplored regions of space. His superiors were pleased with his willingness to pioneer new trade paths, but they didn't know his true motivation. Every new assignment took him closer to the borders of Linari space, closer to where he might encounter Nylara again. He was mapping a potential route through the Epsilon Indy system when his ship's computer alerted him to an approaching vessel. Scanning unknown ship, the computer announced. Configuration not in database. Alex's heart jumped. He knew before the ship came into visual range what he would see. The familiar shimmering hull, the organic flowing lines. Open communications. He ordered. The view screen activated, and there was Nylara. Her blue skin seemed to shimmer more intensely than he remembered, the pattern of lights playing across it more complex. Alex Mason, she said, her 4 silver eyes fixed on him with that intense focus he had come to miss. You are far from your usual routes. I've been exploring, he replied with a smile. How did you find me? The memory crystal, she explained. It has a subtle tracking component. I hope that doesn't upset you. Alex laughed. You could have mentioned that when you gave it to me. Would you have accepted it if I had? Probably, he admitted. I've enjoyed the dreams. I'm glad. Her expression shifted in a way Alex had learned to recognize as pleasure. I have news, Alex. News that concerns you. Me? What news could the Linari possibly have that involves a human cargo pilot? My actions in saving your ship the first day we met have had unexpected consequences. The memory exchange we shared has been studied by our scientists. They found something remarkable. Alex felt suddenly nervous. What did they find? The human capacity for joy, for finding wonder and happiness in the universe, is far greater than we had realized. Your positive emotions are unusually powerful, Alex, even for a human. And the way those emotions affected me during our exchange has led my superiors to reconsider our non-interference policies. You mean they're not angry with you anymore? More than that, they have created a new position within our research division, a liaison to promising species. I have been appointed to that position. Alex stared at her, trying to understand what she was saying. A liaison? You mean you're allowed to make contact now? With restrictions, Nylara clarified. Only with selected individuals from species. That show particular promise. Only in controlled circumstances. And I'm one of those selected individuals? The first, she said, if you are willing. Alex could hardly believe what he was hearing. Willing to what, exactly? To join me, to help bridge the gap between our species. To explore the universe as a partner in research rather than merely a cargo pilot. It was everything Alex had been dreaming of without knowing it. A chance to see more of the universe, to learn from an advanced species, to be part of something larger than human expansion. What would this mean, practically speaking? He asked, trying to think clearly despite his excitement. You would continue your work as a pilot, but with a modified ship, one with certain Lenari technologies that would allow you to travel further, observe more. You would document your experiences, your emotional responses to new discoveries. And occasionally, we would meet to exchange findings. And my superiors, the shipping company, they would know only that you have been selected for a special deep space exploration program. The full nature of our arrangement would remain between us. Alex thought about his life, the routine cargo runs, the brief visits to Earth that felt increasingly foreign, the sense that he belonged among the stars more than he belonged on his home planet. I accept, he said without further hesitation. Nyla's skin brightened visibly. I had hoped you would say that. Dock your ship with mine. There is much to discuss. The next few days were a whirlwind of information and modifications. Nylara installed new systems on the Stardust that defied human engineering principles. The quantum drive was enhanced to allow for faster, more efficient travel. New sensors were added that could detect phenomena invisible to human technology. Most remarkably, she installed a communication system that would allow Alex to contact her directly, regardless of distance. This goes well beyond what my superiors authorized, Nylara admitted as she made the final adjustments. But I believe it. Is necessary for your safety? Breaking the rules again? Alex teased. Interpreting them creatively, she corrected, her skin flickering with amusement. On the final evening before they would part ways again, they sat together in the Stardust's observation dome, looking out at the stars. The Epsilon Indi system spread before them, its twin suns casting double shadows across the ship's interior. I've been meaning to ask you something, Alex said. That first day, when you offered to fix my ship in exchange for my memories of happiness, was that the real reason? Or did you have this liaison position in mind even then? Nylara was quiet for a moment. I had no such plans then. I truly was breaking protocols by helping you, but I was curious about humans, about you specifically. Why me? I had been observing your species for some time. Most humans I watched seemed focused on acquisition, on progress measured in material terms, but you were different. Even in your routine work, you found joy in the stars, in the simple act of traveling through space. It interested me. Alex felt oddly touched. So you chose me because I liked my job. I chose you because you saw wonder where others saw only emptiness. Her 4 eyes studied his face. And I was right to do so. As they talked late into the night, Alex realized how much his life had changed since that first desperate day when his ship broke down. He had given Nylara his memories of happiness, but she had given him so much more in return. A new purpose, a broader perspective, and now a future filled with possibilities he had never imagined. The next morning, as they prepared to go their separate ways, Nylara gave him one final gift, a small handheld device with a simple interface. This contains star charts for regions humans have not yet explored, she explained. Areas rich with phenomena your scientists would find fascinating. Your first assignment as liaison, if you choose to accept it. Alex took the device, feeling its weight in his hand, not just the physical weight, but the weight of responsibility, of opportunity. I accept, he said again. Then I will see you at the coordinates marked in red in 3 months' time, Nylara said. We will compare notes on what you have discovered. As Alex watched her ship depart, he felt none of the sadness that had marked their previous partings. This time, he knew with certainty that they would meet again. He set course for the first set of coordinates in Nylara's star charts, his mind already racing with possibilities. He had started this journey as a simple cargo pilot, had become the first human to form a true connection with a member of an advanced alien species, and was now embarking on a new role as a bridge between worlds, all because an alien had promised to fix his ship in exchange for something personal, his memories of happiness. It seemed a small price to pay for the universe that had opened before him. As the Stardust's enhanced quantum drive engaged, propelling him toward unknown stars. Alex Mason smiled. The greatest adventure of his life was just beginning.